I'm that damn good. Smoking on some good, some rosy on the wood. Standing on the shit so you can get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good.
Smoking on some good, something rosy on the wood. And bitch, I got the belt so you just get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good.
I am turning, big old wood I'm burning, big old wood I'm yearning, big old fucks I'm burning. Put it in wood designer, let you know we go behind her. I'm about to give her that weight, yeah, she ain't living like China. I'm on the stripes from referee, I put a ring on the Stephanie. Me and the team is building a legacy, winning the gold separately. It's time to play the game, I had to change the name, really the fans playing. I messed up the camera when I did that. Yay! Yo, it is your boy, Dame Down. Ladies and gentlemen, I am finally back. I'm finally back. You know, I took me a little vacation. You know, I went to, what do you call that? SummerSlam? Don't start this shit, dude. Don't start this shit. But I went to SummerSlam, Las Vegas. And it's been 2 weeks since I've been here, since we've talked wrestling. I did release my first vlog. I hope you all really enjoyed the vlog. Let me know what you guys thought about that. I lost a lot of my videos like towards the end, so that's why like you'll notice it was more of like a vlog in the beginning, and then as like the time kept going, it was just like more like just videos. I did lose some of my videos. I didn't really have a voice after the show to record. And so when I first got back, I was just like, not in the mood to record. Like, and don't look at me fucking crazy, because y'all be having shit to do and don't be feeling like doing that shit either. So don't look at me crazy, because I just simply didn't fucking feel like it. I wish I had like some extravagant reason as to why I couldn't be here, or I wish I could tell you guys, you know, something unfortunate happened. It did not. I just simply did not fucking feel like it. But now I feel like it. Now I'm here. And actually on this episode, I was actually coming into the episode, I didn't really want to have a topic. I just kind of wanted to talk, like, but that was my original plan until last night. So now this is going to be a wrestling episode. Like we're completely changing it. Like this is a wrestling episode now. First and foremost, usually I try to go in order of the shows and in order of the weeks. We haven't discussed wrestling since the week before SummerSlam. So there's quite a bit here that we need to catch up on. So I'm not really going to be going in a particular order. I just kind of have bullet points, and then we're just kind of going to go from the bullet points. But this was not supposed to be a wrestling episode. We definitely only drop wrestling episodes on Fridays. But like, ladies and gentlemen, before I get in with AEW, before I start with AEW, I just want to seriously take a moment to say, rest in peace to Daphne. I met Daphne, and well, I didn't actually literally meet her, but I was introduced to Daphne when she was in TNA. She was actually doing a storyline with the Beautiful People, and she came in as like the governor, like pretending to be Sarah Palin. Unfortunately, Daphne did take her own life this past week. So we just want to sincerely send out thoughts and prayers to not only Daphne and her family as well. And then I can also put the like suicide prevention number down there. There's been a lot of people posting that number, so I'll go ahead and post that as well. Just make sure you're reaching out to people and get help. So definitely rest in peace to Daphne. Tremendous talent. I wasn't really familiar with her in WCW. Like I said, I met her in TNA when she was doing angles with the Beautiful People. And then one of my favorite memories of Daphne is probably when she did they were doing like these lockbox things, and her lockbox was a strip tease. And she was always known as like this gothic fairy princess type thing. And so she won a strip tease and had to like go down to the ring and pretend like she was gonna strip and stuff like that. That was probably one of my favorite memories of her. I really enjoyed her moveset. I feel like she did some work with Abyss somewhere in there. I don't really 100% know, but she was a great talent, 100%. And it's really unfortunate what happened to her. So we definitely just want to send our thoughts and prayers over with Daphne's family. We're just gonna jump right into this because this is fresh on my mind. I literally just finished watching it. Bryan Danielson has jumped ship, ladies and gentlemen. Bryan Danielson has returned. Daniel Bryan is no more. And DB is now BD, and he is in AEW. And this is crazy to me. If you go back and you watch episode 2, I explained to you all that Daniel Bryan going to AEW means more than CM Punk going to AEW. So I know we haven't even talked about Punk's return. I wasn't even here. Like, I was actually going to open up my wrestling episode with Punk coming back, but for me, Daniel Bryan is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. Daniel Bryan going to AEW means way more, in my personal opinion, than CM Punk does. There was news that came out this morning that Vince is holding like creative meetings, like an emergency creative meeting. And actually, if you go on WWEshop.com, Daniel Bryan's side plates for the titles right now are $20. These side plates are $99 a piece. These like Undertaker side plates and stuff like that. These side plates are $99 a piece. WWE is so pissed off right now. Daniel Bryan's side plates on the website are like $24. His shirts are like $7. Like everything is tremendously priced down. This was a huge loss for WWE. Like I said before, I felt like while Daniel Bryan was still under contract, he did an interview and he was talking about how Kenny Omega was, very creative and was willing to push the envelope. And like I said, I believe it was I think it was my second episode, that when Daniel Bryan did that interview, I knew eternally that he was going to AEW at some point. There has been rumors about Daniel Bryan going to AEW for almost 2 or 3 months now. I actually thought that that's exactly what it was, just rumors. Like, I was not believing it at all. Like, there was people tagging me in posts like, oh, Daniel Bryan's about to go here. I'm like, it's not happening. It's not happening. I don't see it happening. I did not see it happening. And here we are. He is here. I just feel like this is a huge grab for AEW, and for me personally, and I am probably being biased because Daniel Bryan is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. This is probably the biggest signing that they've had, aside from CM Punk. And again, in my opinion, this is bigger than CM Punk. I truly believe that this is the biggest signing that they've had. Adam Cole has also debuted in the same segment last night. CM Punk has debuted. Ruby Soho, formerly known as Ruby Riott, has debuted. So AEW is really trying to establish themselves as bona fide competition, and I believe they are. But one thing that you cannot sit here and say is, oh, AEW is going to take over the WWE and all this, because if you ask a casual wrestling fan, the average casual wrestling fan still has no idea who MJF is, what AEW is, who Malachi Black is. Like, the average regular casual wrestling fan has no idea who these people are. And I'm not saying that they don't have that probability to grow. They definitely can grow and be, well-known and household names, but it would be alongside WWE, not instead of WWE. There would be no AEW without WWE. You know what I'm saying? So, and I also feel like now we're getting to a point where AEW is establishing themselves as legitimate competition because people want to be there. Like, Adam Cole is the first wrestler that was in the developmental system, NXT, that chose not to go to the main roster. He didn't want to go to SmackDown. He didn't want to go to Raw. He did 2, 3, 4 years in NXT, and then he was out of there, and now he's in AEW. So now I feel like these people are establishing themselves as legitimate competition because people want to be there now. And again, I am talking about weeks and stuff this is just like what I'm starting with here. But this is a huge grab for them. Ruby Riott debuted and she became the #1 contender for the AEW Women's Championship. I've always kind of watched AEW on and off. I guess I'll be watching moving forward because Daniel Bryan is again one of my favorite wrestlers. Like Daniel Bryan, his shirt is going to be the first shirt that I purchased that is an AEW shirt. He actually was the first shirt that I purchased off of WWE Shop. Where he goes, I will follow him because he is one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, I'm just honestly in awe. Like, I cannot believe. I'm really excited I'm really excited for Bryan because I feel like this is a good career move for him. This is something fresh for him. This is an opportunity for like him to have so many different matches that he's never even had before. So many different opportunities. So many opportunities to face people he's faced already. CM Punk, Christian. Options are endless at this point. Daniel Bryan can really come into AEW and really shake it up. But my question is, what does, and I don't want to sound like a hater, but I just want to play devil's advocate. Because I don't see these guys doing long-term deals, and there's also no chance that you think that Daniel Bryan is never going back to WWE. Big Show's never going back, Christian's never going back, Matt Hardy. All these people will end up back at the WWE in some way, shape, or form, whether it's Hall of Fame or an appearance on a Raw 50,000 in 20 years. Like, they are all going to be back in WWE at some point. Like, that's not what I'm worried about at all. But I feel like, what is AEW going to do once, because I feel like they're going to ride this momentum for maybe 3 to 5 years. And after the 3 to 5 years is over, what is the AEW going to do? Like, is this going to be like another TNA Impact situation where they're kind of around, but they're not really around? Like, what? I'm just really interested to see like how this is going to play out within the next 3 to 5 years. I really can't wait to see this 3 to 5 year plan. And hopefully I'm on the inside of the wrestling business, whether it's AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, fucking Shimmer. It doesn't matter. Like, I'll work anywhere. I really do want to be a manager or like a commentator or something like that. Like, I really do want to do that. That is my goal, and I will achieve it before I die. Also on AEW All Out, I want to talk about the Lucha Brothers and the Bucks in this cage match. Probably one of the best tag team cage matches I've ever seen, honestly. High impact. I truly hate the Bucks. Like, it's really kind of hard for me to enjoy what they do. But I really do like the Lucha Brothers with the sin miedo, whatever the fuck they say. I really enjoy that. But yeah, I don't really like the Bucks. They're really corny to me. I just feel like they're just the average stuck-up white dudes from California with money. Like, that's pretty much all they are. Like, they're just the average white guys from California that think they can't be touched and that will probably get their ass beat in real life. Adam Cole came back and he actually joined up with the Elite, speaking of the Young Bucks. So I guess they're reunited. I guess Adam Cole was in Bullet Club previously. And again, I've never really been a fan of Kenny Omega and the Bucks and any of that. So I wasn't really following them. Like, I'm not like most wrestling fans that complain about Monday Night Raw and sit there and watch all 3 hours. Like, I don't do that. I can do something much better with my time than to watch a show and then complain about literally every second of the show. So I really don't have any background on Adam Cole being in the Elite or the Bullet Club or anything of that nature. Also, there's a lot of wrestling fans online who are very, very uptight saying, oh, Adam Cole, CM Punk, and Daniel Bryan are not WWE names. You guys can't get mad and say that AEW is signing all these WWE names. These are not AEW names. And that is true. Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, and CM Punk were all wrestling before WWE. But I had no idea who they were before they came to WWE. They became household names because of WWE. Daniel Bryan now is one of my favorite wrestlers. But when Bryan Danielson first signed to WWE, and I remember it being all over Twitter, and it was this really big deal. Like, I swear to God, I remember it being this really big deal that, oh, American Dragon Bryan Danielson changed his name to Daniel Bryan. This was a big deal on Twitter. Like, if you don't believe me, Google it. It was a really big deal that Bryan Danielson changed his name to Daniel Bryan. That's when I kind of first heard of him, because I'm like, who the fuck is Bryan Danielson? Who the fuck is this? And everybody was mad because he was going to NXT and all this other shit. Like, I honestly had no idea who he was. I had no idea who Adam Cole was. I had no idea who CM Punk was. So you can sit and say, oh, these people aren't WWE originals, but they became household names because of WWE. Like, that's just simple. Before we keep going, let's go ahead and take a shot here, because I really did just jump right in. I got a drink and a shot ready already. You ready? I gotta have a chaser because I'm a lightweight. Since we went ahead and covered it all out, let's go ahead and rewind back to SummerSlam. So, of course, I was at SummerSlam Live. It was a great show. For me, match of the night was Edge versus Christian. Edge versus Seth Rollins was probably match of the night for me. After that, it will probably be Charlotte winning the title for the 12th time. And you will bow down to the queen, bend a knee, don't breathe too much of her air. The queen was there looking as regal and royal as fucking possible. She did the fucking spinning thing off the top rope, and she got the job done just like I told you she would. Let's not sit here and act like Charlotte is not the best. Let's not sit here and act like Charlotte is not the queen of the entire wrestling industry. Charlotte Flair is better than Britt Baker. Charlotte Flair is better than Becky Lynch. Charlotte Flair is better than Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, Sasha Crew. Sasha Crew, please. 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 We talking about a Flair, please. Also, I did go to the Dolph Ziggler comedy show, and I did not include that in the SummerSlam vlog, because honestly, a lot of them weren't funny. Dolph Ziggler was funny, Caleb Braxton was funny, and the host was hilarious. But a lot of them weren't funny. Dolph Ziggler kept telling us to stop recording because he was making jokes about Vince and WWE, and he was saying he didn't want to be fired, which, is a good call because they really don't give a fuck who they fired right now. But he can go to AEW. He can go to AEW. And also, wait, before we go past AEW, I want to say, if they hire Bray Wyatt, that's going to change the game again. In the last 30 days, we've had the return of John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Becky Lynch, CM Punk, Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan, Ruby Soho. Like, I feel like it doesn't even matter whether you're just a WWE fan or an AEW fan. Right now is a great time to be a wrestling a fan of professional wrestling in general. It doesn't matter who you're going for. It doesn't matter who you prefer. Right now is just a great time to be a professional wrestling fan. Also at SummerSlam, John Cena had to unfortunately acknowledge the Tribal Chief. And I did actually predict that John Cena is on his way to film a movie. WWE is doing their last show here with the Summer of Cena tour. That'll be on Friday Night SmackDown from Madison Square Garden with the return of Brock Lesnar. Edge versus Seth Rollins Part 2. Tribal Chief will be there. John Cena will be there. Something's going on with Finn Balor. I think the Demon's on his way back. So I feel like this week's SmackDown is going to be very interesting. I was very shocked to see that Seth Rollins got a bloodbath from Edge. They're bringing back like this Brood Edge, and I really love that. That he came out to the Brood music while they were actually in Las Vegas, and I can't lie, like, I was going to be a little disappointed if his whole entrance was the Brood. If he didn't, if I didn't hear You Think You Know Me live, I probably would have, been disappointed. But I feel like the way he incorporated the Brood not only into the entrance but into his gear, I thought it was awesome. They gave Edge like that little edge, and I kind of feel like gave Edge that edge, no pun intended, but I kind of feel like Seth Rollins is going to get this win at Madison Square Garden just to get that comeuppance. Like, because let's face it, at this point, this win would do more for Seth Rollins than it would do for Edge. Edge is already made. Edge is the rated R superstar. Edge is a Hall of Famer. Edge is already made. Edge is already made. Next, NXT is being completely rebranded. Now, there were some rumors that came out and said that Pritchard and Vince McMahon were going to be directing NXT moving forward, or producing NXT moving forward themselves instead of Triple H. That then came out the next day and said that that was a lie, so they're not running NXT, and Vince is, or Triple H is still running NXT, or in some sort still running NXT. And I just feel like that is like my number one thing of why you cannot believe these people, because they would sit here and say, here's another rumor that they said, here's another rumor. There's a rumor that Sasha Banks was never cleared, and all of this, her whole return was just a ruse to get Becky Lynch to come back at SummerSlam. And so people are saying, oh, Vince screwed the crowd. Vince screwed the crowd. Vince didn't screw the crowd. Sasha Banks just got injured again. Sasha Banks was 100% cleared. Sasha Banks, I watched Sasha Banks with my own two eyes wrestle a 20-minute match at WWE Milwaukee at the house show. So the rumor going around that Sasha Banks was never cleared and this was all set up for Becky Lynch's return, that's bullshit. I watched Sasha Banks wrestle a 20-25 minute match at a house show. That is a lie. There was also another rumor that came out and said NXT was canceled. Then the director of NXT came out moments later and said that too was a lie. Do you guys see why I don't believe dirt sheets? Like, So say that this news would have came out and I was doing a daily podcast. Say I was doing a daily podcast and I reported this news. The next day, I would have to come on here and then say, oh guys, it was false. Oh guys, it was a lie. This is why I don't believe dirt sheets. Like, this is why I do not believe them. They're all full of shit. Melina came back. Melina has had her Impact debut match. Melina looks fucking great. Melina looks better now than she did before, I feel like. She still can do the splits. Melina came back, of course, to set up her title match with Deonna Purrazzo at NWA's all-women show Empower, put together by Mickie James. And that, speaking of awesome shows, I just want to say hats off to Mickie James. You truly, truly, truly did a great thing for not only the business, but for yourself, really sticking to your guns, standing by what you believe in. I really admire that by Mickie James. So hats off to Mickie James on doing that. The show was tremendous. Bobby Lashley has officially become the longest reigning black champion in WWE history. And I think this is great. I personally hope that Bobby holds the title for as long as they possibly can. I would love to see him lose the title in like some type of surprising way, not like to Goldberg in a match, but like maybe like a Money in the Bank cash-in or something, because they're building Bobby Lashley up so powerfully that it's going to have to be somebody that is like undeniable to take this title from him. I almost feel like Roman Reigns is on fire right now, but if you can somehow get that title off Roman Reigns and on Brock Lesnar, then at November in Survivor Series, we'll finally get Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley has been saying that that's his dream match since he came back to WWE. He was saying he came back to WWE specifically for Brock. And so at Survivor Series, both the champions usually face head-to-head. Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion one-on-one, Tag Team Champions one-on-one, the Major World Champions one-on-one, Intercontinental United States Champion one-on-one. So if they could somehow get that title off of Roman Reigns and put it on Brock Lesnar, we could finally get that one-on-one between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. But getting that title off of Roman Reigns, the internet is going to bitch. They are going to bitch. they are going to bitch. They're also trying to go ahead and paint Paul Heyman to be like in this weird position. He doesn't know if like Roman doesn't know if he's like fully supporting him or if he's turning on him or like. I feel like this is going to be a very interesting angle because you could definitely have Paul Heyman turn on Brock Lesnar or have Paul Heyman turn on Roman Reigns, and that's how you could get that title off of Roman Reigns by having Paul Heyman turn, just like they did with CM Punk when CM Punk was on fire and then Brock took the title from him because Paul Heyman turned on him. Speaking of the bloodline and Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, Naomi has came back, and Naomi is essentially trying to find a spot in the women's division. Sonya Deville is trying to paint this picture as if Naomi is stale. Naomi is outdated. She says that Naomi can't hang in the ring. That part I don't agree with. But I do agree that she's stale. I do agree that she needs something new. I love the whole glow thing, bring it to the floor, but I feel like I'll love it more when they bring it back in 3 or 4 years. This is the time right now to put Naomi with the bloodline. Naomi keeps having these issues with Sonya Deville. At this point, Naomi either needs to go over Sonya Deville's head and go to her husband and say, yo, I can't get a match, see what Roman can do for me, or Roman needs to be like, go get your wife and put her into the bloodline. That's what they need to do. I also feel like I'm so tired of them calling the tag team titles gold and they're silver. Can we please get some gold belts? I'm tired of looking at these belts that look like nickels and dimes. The Raw tag team titles, the SmackDown tag team titles, they're awful. They just went ahead and they updated the United States title and the Intercontinental Championship. Can we please get updated titles for the tag team division? I don't know if you want to unify the titles. I don't know if that would do more for the division, but at this point, we need new titles. I'm really tired of them calling the titles gold and they're silver. It's really fucking annoying to me. It's really annoying to me. And that wasn't even on my run sheet, but like I just thought about that just now. It's really annoying to me. Becky Lynch came back and she defeated Bianca Belair in 28 seconds. 28 seconds after Bianca Belair won the championship in the main event of WrestleMania versus Sasha Banks. She lost the title just 100-something days later in 28 seconds to the returning Becky Lynch. Now, I understand the story that they're trying to prove or the story that they're trying to pull off of, Bianca Belair wasn't expecting Becky Lynch. Bianca Belair was expecting Sasha Banks. Then Sasha Banks was out, and then here comes Carmella. Then after Carmella, here comes Becky Lynch. So I understand like the concept of Bianca Belair being completely thrown off. I completely get that. But I would not have taken the title off of Bianca Belair that way. Bianca Belair has been a tremendous champion. It's not like she's been a flop of a champion. Bianca has been a tremendous champion the entire time she's held the title. So I was very disappointed to see them take the title off of her like that. But I'm very interested to see where the story actually goes, because there's a story behind this. So I'm not gonna just harp on it right away. I was also seeing a lot of wrestling fans saying that this is a race thing and that only black champions get squashed in WWE. That's what they were saying about Kofi Kingston and Bianca Belair. They were saying, oh, only black champions get squashed in WWE. Sasha Banks has never been squashed. Naomi has never been squashed for a title, not for titles. These people have never been squashed for titles. New Day have never been squashed for titles. So if you're gonna say that WWE just squashes black champions, you have to look at the broad picture, the broad horizon of things. You cannot just make one situation about race, because white people get squashed all the fucking time. And I'm not defending white people getting squashed or black people getting squashed, but I'm just simply saying this simply has fucking nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with race. The point of race in this situation is null and void. It has nothing to do with anything. Speaking of race, Booker T is one hating ass nigga. I love Booker T in the ring. I love Booker T as King Booker, but Booker T puts his fucking foot in his mouth a lot. When everybody was getting behind Naomi, he got on Twitter or on his podcast or whatever the fuck it was, and he goes, oh, Naomi just doesn't have what it takes. She needs to grab the brass ring or whatever the fuck he said. And Naomi had a lot of momentum at this time. Then he comes out and he says CM Punk was talking about WWE and all this other stuff. I mean, CM Punk definitely did make references to WWE and about not being happy and still trying to sell ice cream bars 8 years later. Who the fuck cares about all this shit? Who cares about all this shit, honestly? So now CM Punk is back trying to sell ice cream bars and all this other shit, and Booker T goes, oh, well, all we did was talk about WWE the whole time. Like, this was a great moment for CM Punk, and again, he did reference WWE, but I feel like Booker T is just such a fucking hater. Shut the fuck up sometimes. And again, I do respect Booker T in ring, but I feel like his opinion sometimes, it's ridiculous, and that's my opinion. Like, his opinion sometimes, it's really ridiculous, and it's really, like, not asked for. Like, Booker T is just really one hating ass nigga. Like, come on now. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and end the show with this right here. I feel like everybody at this point is expecting Randy Orton to turn on Matt Riddle. Congratulations to Matt Riddle and Randy Orton on becoming tag team champions at SummerSlam. Is his name still Matt Riddle, or is it just Riddle? Because I feel like everybody still calls him Matt Riddle, even though they tried to get rid of Matt. But anyway, I feel like it would be a really huge surprise if Riddle was the one to turn on Orton. I feel like everybody already kind of expects Orton to be the one to turn on Matt Riddle. I also feel like when Matt Riddle comes out, he gets a really big reaction from the crowd when they hit the bruh. Like, he gets a really big bruh. But I feel like he gets a really big reaction, like when they hit that and he comes out. But I feel like if Matt Riddle was the one to turn on Orton, that would turn him into like this huge heel. I don't know if that's something that they want to do, but that would turn Matt Riddle into a huge heel. That would also put in a surprise factor because nobody expects Riddle to turn on Orton. Everybody expects Orton to turn on Riddle because he already has. Get to a place, and I'm not saying, do this next week. I think you should milk it, maybe give it, 2-3 months, and then have Riddle turn on him, and then, have Riddle be like, I'm not this dumb kid that just says Randy, because, Riddle kind of acts like a little kid, like, oh, hi, Randy, like, it's just like a stoner weird kid, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like they could pull Matt out of that, and then have him turn on him. But again, I don't know if that would make Matt Riddle a heel. All I have for today's episode, I know that this was just like a surprise pop-up wrestling episode, but I was out the loop for 2-3 weeks. Like, I had to get in here and let y'all know, like, my thoughts on things, what is going on. Like, I just felt like it was too much going on not to do a wrestling episode. So I'll figure out what we're going to do on Friday. Tonight we got Monday Night Raw. There's a tag team turmoil match. Charlotte Flair will defend her women's championship against Nia Jax. There's a couple other things that's happening tonight too. So it's really interesting to see what'll happen here. It's also it'll be really interesting to see what we'll go ahead and pull up for Friday, because we'll definitely go ahead and still drop a show on Friday, but I'm not sure if I want to do like a wrestling episode part 2 or like just a regular episode or drop a regular episode on Monday. I'm not really sure. We'll figure it out, but I want to thank y'all so much for sticking with me, watching with me, being patient with me, and welcome back to the studio. We are live and in color every Monday and Friday. Of course, I'm your host, Dame Don. Dame Don, I'm your boy. All right, I'm leaving, bye.
I got a cold shoulder for a fuck nigga if he prove he a mug. I'm pulling up, I got the hammer. I threw an X on the banner. She ain't there throwing that ass at me, but I wouldn't fuck if she Bama. She call me Billy like badass, I call her Billy like Jean. I never slack on the fast cash, even the jacket is jean.